Welcome to tutorial 9 of JavaScript, and in this tutorial we're going to go over something called the if statement. Now what the if statement is it basically goes through and it'll test a condition, and if that condition's true, then it'll run a bit of code, but if it's false, it won't run that code. And that sort of goes back to, or it directly goes back to when we were talking about Boolean variables and 0 being false and 1 being true, because you're testing a condition for those two variables. You want to know if it's true, then you're going to run the code. If it's false, then you're not going to run it. So to start the if statement, you're going to write if simply, and then a set of parameters or parentheses, and then you're just going to make two braces for a body. Now inside these braces, what we're going to want to write is the instructions that will run if the statements inside these parameters are true. So let me explain to you what that means. Let's create a variable called x. Let's set that equal to 5. Then we're going to create we'll change it up a little bit. We're going to create a variable called John and set it to 45. We'll just say their ages. And then Jack and set it equal to 35. Now we want to know if John is older than Jack. So if John is older than Jack, which he is, we're going to print out these instructions. But if he's not, then we're not going to do anything. So basically, to do that, we write John, if John, inside the parameters, is greater than Jack, then inside these braces, let's say let's say out to the screen, document write, John is older. Let's press Control S and then run this in the browser. Now we see John is older because this is a true condition. Now if we make it false, if John is not older than Jack, then we can save this again and run it, and we'll see nothing because this is a false statement. Therefore, this code inside of here isn't going to run. So again, you could write a whole bunch of code inside here. So say I had multiple statements that I wanted to output. So say we wanted to say it a bunch of times to the screen, 5 times, if it's true. So let's make it true, save it. You can see it outputted 5 times because this condition is true. Now we're going to test this statement. If John's older than Jack, which he is, then we're going to say John is older. But if Jack happens to be older than John, then we're going to run a different set of instructions, and that's where the else comes in. So the else statement we will go over, and that basically is if John isn't greater than Jack, or John isn't older than Jack, then just run whatever is in this body. So we're going to say document write Jack is older, John lied. So basically, what we're saying in here is that if John's older than Jack, write John is older. If he's not, else write Jack is older, John lied. So when we run this, we're going to get John is older because he is older and this statement is true. So if we change Jack to 55 and make this statement false again, we get Jack is older, John lied. And that's how you use the if statement, and that's how you use the if else statement. So you do not need to include the else statement, but it is a way of, if this condition ends up false, you have sort of like a go to write out something else to the user to let them know that this didn't become true, so you ran the rather or the other piece of code instead. So that's how you write an if statement. If you have any questions about the if statement or the if else statement, uh, shoot me a comment or just leave me a comment on my channel or on Twitter, on Google Plus, and I will get back to you. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. In the next tutorial, we'll be going over loops and what loops are in programs. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you next time.